All right, it is 6 o'clock. It is Monday, January 16th, 2023. We'll call our meeting to order and start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next we'll have a roll call.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Coolman. Alinger. Yes. Holm.
Yes.
Okay, next is the approval of tonight's agenda. So, okay, motion by Hollister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. If you have no discussion, take the roll.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Next is public participation. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to get up and address the council? Anybody on Zoom? If not, we'll move on. Next is presentations. Do we have any presentations? No presentations, so we'll go on to the consent agenda. Item 7 is the consent agenda, consisting of the minutes from the January 3rd, 2023 regular city council meeting. Bills payable through January 16th, 2023 in the amount of $708,623.11. We have the December financial reports, the mayoral appointment of Amanda River to the tree board, renewal of Class C beer permit filed by Kwik Star, number 894, and renewal of a Class C beer permit filed by Kwik Star, number 212. We have a motion authorizing payment of the second draw and forwarding the corresponding GAX reimbursement form to the state of Iowa on the 20 CBN-040 Innovate 120 Building Rehab grant in the amount of $44,660. And finally, the renewal of an e-retail alcohol license filed by Fairway Stores Incorporated, number 639.
So moved. Second.
A motion by Lyon, seconded by Rickrell. Any discussion here? Take the roll.
Lyon.
Yes.
Hollister.
Yes.
Alinger. Yes. Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Okay, item 8 is old business, and we have no old business, so we'll go on to item 9, which is new business. Item A is an ordinance repealing Title 3, Chapter 30, Section 1-6 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, and this will be our first reading. Josh?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. What's before you tonight on this one, the next two items is an adjustment to our city code to better represent what the state of Iowa enacted effective July 1st of this past year. We had some public participation a couple months ago. We had two gentlemen come in and discuss some of the differences that other communities have had, and COVID has had no action. As far as I know, the police haven't had any problems whatsoever with ATV use in town since that bill was enacted, but I do want to make sure their city code better mirrors what the state's intent is, and that the police have a better option if they have to eventually do something in the first place. So a couple different avenues to touch here. I did attach in your agenda here in short form what the differences are on the House bill, and also explain to you that Chapter 3.0 allows city roadways to be ATV used with the exception of 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. And the state always has had some requirements, including DNR registration, operator age limits, vehicle liability insurance, and making sure the ATVs are in good working order and properly displaying headlamps in accordance with the state codes. What I'm proposing here is repealing in total Chapter 3.0, and then on the next item, reducing some language down to what the state actually has, so that it doesn't put it on you, the council. It puts what we can do on the state, so that if there's some change again in the state, we don't have to come back and revisit it each time. We're just following what the state language is. And it would allow our police, if there's a vehicle accident of some sort, to take state action on some tickets or on some other traffic enforcement. If, for example, there's an ATV running roadways without lights on. So know that the next two items here, these two items are somewhat related. I did explain quite a bit, but we covered a little bit of this at our Public Safety Commission meeting at our last round, and it was pretty well supported. Councilman Sines, I don't know if you had anything extra to add as a result of the commission meeting.
I don't. I guess the biggest thing is trying to keep it the same. That way law enforcement just knows whatever the state code is, or they're following that, so. 'Cause right now it actually allows Platt Street to be drove on past what we are allowing. So it just makes it cleaner.
Motion to approve.
Okay, a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Lyon. Do we have any discussion? Take the roll, please.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item B is an ordinance amending Title III, Chapter 3H, Subsection 11 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Maquoketa, Iowa, to comply with State of Iowa all-terrain vehicles and off-road utility vehicle requirements. This is the first reading. Okay, motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. Any discussion here? Take the roll.
Alinger,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item C is a resolution setting Monday, February 6th, 2023 at 6 PM as a public hearing for the purpose of soliciting written and oral comments on the city's proposed fiscal year 2023-2024 maximum property tax dollars for certain levies.
Thank you, Mayor. In simple terms, this is the beginning of budget season if you're not on the finance committee as a council. So we went through this drill last year where the state of Iowa makes us declare what a tax ceiling or max would be as we head into the budget season. So we can't go above a certain number. So this is just a limit. This is just a public hearing to allow public input on what a tax rate max would be. It's what we propose at the next meeting is not our definitive tax rate heading into the next year. So I just want to make sure that's crystal clear, and we're setting into motion public input for that tax rate max.
Okay.
So moved.
We have a motion by Lyon,
Second.
seconded by Rickrell. Any discussion? Go ahead and take the roll.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
All right, that motion passes. Item D is the resolution approving the 2023 Maquoketa Fire Department officers, which would be Matt Tranel as chief, Carl Mohausen assistant chief, deputy chief is Pete Schuler. The two captains are Craig Mohausen and Bjorn Beck, along with Greg Boats. Lieutenant is Robert Mitchell. Safety officer is Robert Lane. The other safety officer is Mark Beck. Training officer is Ryan Myers. Records and secretary is Bjorn Beck. Fire prevention is Greg Boats. Maintenance 1, 2, and 3 are filled by Carl Mohausen, Corey Simonson, and Zachary Colister. So there was a motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Lyon. If we have no discussion, take the roll.
Simonson.
Abstain.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item E is a resolution approving the Maquoketa Fire Department officer pay and the hourly pay.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll dive into this one just a little bit. Chief Tran is with us tonight in case you have any very detailed questions with this one. So the Maquoketa Fire Department hasn't increased their hourly rates that they earn. It's a paid-on-call / volunteer department. Haven't had any increase in at least 20 years. And so that is good in and of itself, but I have to compliment Chief Triano for his ability to stay really close to a budget. In this proposal, outside of the CIP, doing good research, and they're really at a point where this isn't to pad the pockets of responding fire department officers or anything like this. They're at 26 right now. They've been fighting all year to get to 35, their limit. And, they've been up and down. They've had some success and some losses. We're at a point where I think in this $14 and $12 an hour proposal for firefighters, that it would get us right at that 43 number. And I would argue as a manager that if they ended up at 28 or 29, and with this pay rate, if we're at 44 or 45 then for a budget as far as the salary is concerned, that'd be a very welcome problem to have in my opinion, because it prevents the city, it prevents the council from needing to consider full-time pay, full-time benefits. So to me, it's not perfectly volunteer like some other departments are doing, but at least that this is a short middle ground for us to maintain a fire department staff that's professional, that trains, and is prepared to respond to fires. So I think this is a good move. I do support it. We're right at that budget line of 43,000, and I would say that, if we have to keep recruiting to get our numbers up, I encourage Chief, I encourage everyone in the fire department to continue doing so. And if you end up at 45,000 the next year, that's a very good problem to have, in my opinion.
Okay. Okay, we have a motion by Colister.
Second.
Did you second it?
I did.
Oh,
No, I'm over here.
okay, Holmes seconded it. Do we have any discussion on this? Then take the roll.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
Okay, motion passes. Item F is a resolution approving change order number 2 in the amount of $38,057 for the Innovate 120 project at 120 South Main Street.
Thank you, Mayor. Progress is well underway at Innovate 120. We are the primary grant applicants, and they are the subrecipient of the CDBG grant. So this is a change order that you're not financially responsible for, believe it or not. That's backed by 2 legal agreements. Mayor was back and forth as well with our city attorney on whether or not we needed to include this on the agenda, but you are the lead agency, and we think that an agenda item is appropriate. So I don't think you have any reason not to approve the change order. I believe this is related to some plumbing issues that they discovered as soon as they broke into it. With your permission, I would actually put these in the consent agenda. I don't know if that's acceptable to you, but for these future ones that there's really no financial liability in, you don't have a real reason to vote no or to go against this, and I would even push this as far as just putting it in a consent agenda item just as a formality.
For tonight, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, motion by Lyon, seconded by Rickroll. Any discussion? Take the roll.
Lyon,
Yes.
Colister,
Yes.
Alinger,
Yes.
Holm,
Yes.
Simonson,
Yes.
Rick Earl,
Yes.
Yeah, that motion passes.
Want a consensus on?
Yeah, I was just kind of looking for some feedback if that was acceptable to you all, to have it in the consent agenda for the next round, because I do know that there's at least one more change order coming with Innovate 120 in that building. If you want to see it written out each time, I'm willing to do it, but just as far as moving it on, because there's a limited liability in it.
I would be all right with it. Anybody against it? Okay. Now we move on to item G. It's a resolution authorizing an engagement letter with Ehlers and Cooney for the purpose of a revised citywide urban revitalization plan.
Thank you, Mayor. This is more creative and something that I think is important to help out with property conditions in town and trying to push along people that might be on the fence to putting up siding or fixing up a porch or adding a garage and these things. But Dyersville has been more aggressive, and Dubuque has certainly been more aggressive and trying to help out developers and trying to help out property owners improve their own properties or build new. So there's a couple different options involved with that. There's TIF, as you know, from the Meadow Park subdivision at Summit and Western. That's identified in your urban renewal plan. You'll be making TIF claims in terms of the top property taxes at some point in the future. This is not related to that. This is something called urban revitalization. And what we're looking to do here is take our current urban revitalization plan and amend it, to refresh it, to remarket it, and to let the properties know out there that if they do make those improvements, they're going to be tax exempt up to a certain amount. And so, with the permission of the property owner on Eliza Street, I've kind of shown you a couple colorful photos here of what's possible. So this home, say it was valued at $75,000 before, and then the assessor's office, after all these improvements, calls it $200,000. The city can technically only on residential allow $75,000 in exemption, but the homeowner would then be 100% exempt from taxes for a set number of years, which Dyersville plan is 5. I'm getting ahead of myself, and the cart might be before the horse here, or the horse might before the cart, whatever. And I just want to make sure that pushing property improvements is on the forefront of our minds, and this is an engagement letter with Allers and Cooney, who can simply come up with this plan. Their cost in it is $3,000 to $7,500. I think it's money well spent. I can tell you from a research part of this over the past year, I had a lunch with a focus group of real estate agents in town, and they didn't know what urban revitalization was. And we didn't have any applications last year for urban revitalization, so we're due to really kind of put this out there in front of people again. And I think that coming out with your own plan is smart at this point. It might help attract people to Maquoketa or improve their properties in town.
So moved. Second.
Okay, got a motion by Lyon, second by Colister. Any more discussion? Then take the roll.
Colister.
Yes.
Alinger.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
All right, item H is a resolution approving the 28E agreement with the Jackson County E911 Board regarding an AFG grant application for radio upgrades.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the fire department agenda if I've ever seen one, but this is more radio related. Mayor, you might be better suited to explain this one to me, but I'll take a shot at it, so correct me if I get anything wrong. So FEMA runs something called the Assistance to Firefighters Grant, AFG. They just released their next funding round, which in our case, the obvious need here, the obvious need in Preston, the obvious need in Sebule, these radio compliance equipment pieces to get with our IS6 program here. So Lynn Mediger from the county, Chief Tranel, all the others basically agree, why do this individually? Let's pool this together, have the 911 board be on top of this, but the 911 board can't apply because they're not a fire department. So naturally, with the area we cover, with our assets, Chief being a good champion here, this allows us to enter into a 28E agreement with the 911 board to have the 911 board pay for the professional grant writing services that the city's going to start up, and then pay for the 5% local match involved with all these equipment pieces. So this is something that the 911 boards had their eye on for quite some time, on how to fund area departments to get together with this IS6 program. This is a good shot at doing it. And so I know that their number, I believe, is $1 million, right, Chief?
Yes.
It's 50,000 will be covered by the 911 board, 95% covered by FEMA. This is just simply the city being the lead agency and applying for it. So I think it's a good opportunity. I don't know if you have any other statements on that, Chief or Mayor, but this is something that I know that we're going to face in the future, and this is a good way to get it done altogether.
It's going to come whether you like it or not, and there's no reason to do it piecemeal. And the smaller communities like Baldwin, Sebula, Miles, this is going to be a pretty steep hill for them to have to climb to get the money to get these radios. I think it just makes sense to do this. Everybody wins.
The only other comment I'll add is that the 911 board signed off on this today, so I'm not, it was kind of comforting as a skeptic that they would be so gracious and they already signed off on it.
Motion to approve.
A motion by Simonson,
Second.
seconded by Rickrell. Any discussion? Then take the roll.
Alinger.
Yes.
Holm.
Yes.
Simonson.
Yes.
Rickrell.
Yes.
Lyon.
Yes.
Colister.
Yes.
Okay, that motion passes. Item 10 is reports and communications. Do we have anything from any of the council members? Okay, anything from the city manager?
Biggest thing this week is the wastewater treatment plant bids are due Thursday. So we have a bid opening. I
What time Thursday?
believe it's 1.
1?
Yeah, 90% confident on that. I believe it's 1. But Jake from Alliance is here to provide support throughout the week. Naturally, this is the way things go. People will be running in here at 12:55 with the manila envelope, and that's the way it works. So they'll get a barrage of questions. They'll have a lot to work through this week, and MMEU's had some questions for us late last week, so things are going to heat up this week for that bid.
We have no executive session, so I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Colister,
Second.
seconded by Holm. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn.